All right, let's dive right into this explainer. If you own a home up in Genesee, Colorado, you know you're sitting at this incredible intersection of stunning natural beauty, intense alpine weather, and, well, extreme wildfire vulnerability. Today, we're going to break down the critical exterior upgrades required by incoming local laws and the specific building science you need to actually protect your property. To put things into perspective, just look at this number. According to the U.S. Forest Service Community Risk Assessment, populated areas of Genesee have a wildfire vulnerability greater than 97% of all communities statewide. That means your risk profile isn't just high, it's practically off the charts. It demands a completely different approach to how your home is built and defended. When we map out the fire behavior predictions for the area, it paints a pretty intense picture of why that risk is so extreme. We're talking about complex topography with steep draws, dense pine fuels, and those dry downslope Chinook winds that easily rip through at 80 to 100 miles per hour. That combo creates what experts call a high-velocity thermal bellows effect. It pushes active fires rapidly through the pine canopies, blasting structures with intense radiant heat and a storm of flying embers. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the Genesee Risk Profile, break down the 2026 Wildfire Code, look at James Hardie fiber cement, talk about completing the exterior system, and finally wrap up with choosing the right contractor. Part 1, the Genesee Risk Profile. Let's dig into exactly what makes building up here so incredibly demanding on your home's exterior. Living between 7,300 and 8,200 feet means your property is constantly battling the elements. We're talking aggressive UV exposure, over 150 deep freeze-thaw cycles every single year, heavy snow loads, and wind-driven hail. Normal, off-the-shelf building materials, they literally don't stand a chance up here. Wood rots and acts as fuel, vinyl gets brittle, cracks, and melts. You absolutely need materials engineered for this exact altitude. Moving on to Part 2, the 2026 Wildfire Code. Let's see how that extreme risk has translated into some very serious new laws, because we're way past just best practices now. Here's the deal with the Jefferson County Wildfire Resiliency Code, or the WRC. It's not just a set of suggestions, it's an incoming legal reality that is going to fundamentally change how you handle renovations. Approved by the Board of County Commissioners, this code establishes legally binding structure-hardening standards for all unincorporated areas, which absolutely includes Genesee. The big date you need to circle on your calendar is July 1st, 2026. That is when strict enforcement officially kicks in. Now, you might be asking yourself, does this actually apply to my current home? Well, yes, if you're planning any major work. The code gets triggered by new construction, any addition over 500 square feet, or, and this is the big one, if you replace more than 25% of your exterior siding or roofing. If you hit those thresholds, you are legally obligated to bring the whole system up to these new, ultra-strict fire mitigation standards. So, what does that look like in practice? We've translated the legal jargon directly into the real-world engineering solutions your home is going to need. The code flat-out requires non-combustible siding, ember-resistant ventilation, enclosed deck underfloors to stop embers from piling up, and Class A roofing. The days of just throwing up standard wood or vinyl are officially over.
All right, Part 3, James Hardie fiber cement. Let's talk about the absolute foundation of your home's new armor and how we satisfy those strict cladding requirements. When you're trying to build a home that can actually survive in Genesee, James Hardie fiber cement is pretty much the definitive answer. Think about it. Vinyl melts at around 150 degrees, and natural wood is literally just kindling for a wildfire. But fiber cement? It boasts a flame spread index of exactly 0. It simply will not ignite from radiant heat or flying embers, perfectly nailing those strict Wildland-Urban Interface zone requirements. But it's not just about fire safety. It's about surviving the climate year-round. Fiber cement is this super dense mix of Portland cement, ground sand, and cellulose fibers. More specifically, the James Hardie HZ5 formulation is practically custom-built for those wild freeze-thaw cycles you get in Genesee. It blocks moisture, refuses to warp, takes hits from wind-driven hail like a champ, and features a baked-on Color Plus finish that holds its color even under that intense high-altitude UV exposure. Section 4, completing the exterior system. Because honestly, siding is just one piece of the puzzle. You need a fully impenetrable envelope to survive mountain weather. Let's look at windows, which, historically, are one of the absolute weakest links during a fire. At 7,600 feet, standard windows will literally pillow and shatter just because the trapped gas expands in the thinner atmosphere. Crazy, right?
But Pella Impervia windows completely solve this. They use these tiny, engineered capillary tubes to equalize the pressure. Plus, their fiberglass frames won't warp, and they use tempered, laminated safety glass that resists blowing out from intense radiant heat. It literally stops embers dead in their tracks from breaching your home. And then there's the roof, basically your very first line of defense against reening embers. GAF roofing systems are a must-have here. They carry a UL 790 Class A fire rating, meaning they can take direct, sustained flames without catching fire. And remember those 100-mile-per-hour Chinook winds? GAF uses this incredibly smart layer lock technology to mechanically bond the shingles together, allowing them to offer a wind-proven warranty with unlimited wind speed coverage. It is an iron-clad shield for your roof deck. Of course, we cannot forget about your deck. Traditional wood decks are basically giant ignition ramps. Embers gather in the cracks and pull the fire right to your house. That's exactly why TimberTech's advanced PVC decking is the required solution. There is zero wood in it. When you pair that 100% synthetic material with a light-gauge steel substructure, you get a Class A flame spread rating that is fully WUI compliant. You get to keep your gorgeous outdoor space without turning it into a fuse. Finally, Section 5, choosing the right contractor. Because let's be real, all these high-end materials are completely useless if they aren't installed flawlessly to code. You're essentially building a fortress, so execution is everything. That's where a company like 5280 Exteriors comes in. They bring over 2 decades of localized, mountain-specific experience to Jefferson County. They're a James Hardie Elite Preferred Contractor, which is the absolute highest tier possible, and a Pella Platinum Certified Installer. They aren't just guessing at high-altitude physics. They know the local terrain inside out and exactly how to breeze through those rigid WI permit processes. And check this out, this is a credential that truly sets them apart. 5280 Exteriors is the only contractor in all of Colorado to win the James Hardie President's Club Award back-to-back in 2024 and 2025. This isn't just some fluffy marketing gimmick. It's an award given by the manufacturer to less than 1% of contractors nationwide, strictly based on flawless installation compliance audits and incredibly low warranty claims. So here's why this matters directly to you. Picking 5280 Exteriors guarantees the exact architectural execution you need to unlock that full 30-year non-prorated James Hardie warranty. If standard contractors mess up the install, you simply won't pass the new 2026 code inspections, and boom, your manufacturer warranties are completely voided. Getting it right the first time is literally everything. So, knowing what you know now about the incoming 2026 regulations, that wild 97% risk profile, and the heavy-duty building science required up there, you really have to ask yourself, is your property truly a hardened fortress? If you're planning any exterior renovations, just guessing isn't an option anymore. It's time to demand the level of expertise brought by teams like 5280 Exteriors. Secure your home, protect your investment, and finally get that peace of mind up in the mountains.